Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. In this game we're playing Protoss, and I'm playing against the one and only Pig. He's playing Zerg, he's playing his main race, and yeah, I thought this was a really fun game. I was super tryharding on my 5.9k account, and he was chatting to viewers, so it's a bit unfair. But yeah, I think it's a fun game. I actually really like his response for the most part. There's a lot of Zergs in the lower part of GM. I don't want to name names, but are doing like really fast layer and stuff. And if you're playing against Adepts or Dark Templar, then you don't want to be getting a fast layer, which seems kind of counterintuitive for the DTs, but you'll see what I mean. It's a pretty tight hold. So I'm just going for a normal gate nexus, grabbing my gas. And Pig is just doing a hatch first, so super standard stuff. He knows I'm not cannon rushing, so he's going to send out this Overlord. I'm just making sure here that he's not going to go for any sort of Ling all-in, which is definitely something you want to be worried about at this part of the game. And we're going to be doing a Dark Templar drop. I'm curious if you guys want to see this build. This is probably one of the more advanced builds, I'd say, but definitely one of my favorites. So if you'd like to see me do a guide on the DT drop in PvZ, then let me know in the comments. I did do one in the past, but it's a little bit of an outdated version. I think I might have even deleted it because the quality was pretty terrible, but I can definitely do another one on this this new version. It'd be more of an advanced guide, I think. But yeah, very, very strong build, super nasty, really fun to play. Okay, so Twilight Council, we're getting an Adept. You don't have to go Adept. You could go Stalker first. Oftentimes I do like to go Stalker first, actually, because you can completely deny their vision. But in this game, I'm going to go Adept first. This has its own advantages as well. Like you can force a couple Lings, so you slow down their droning. But they could sneak in with this Overlord and see what you're doing. Speaking of which, he's trying to sneak some Zerglings in here, but we did deny that. And yeah, let's focus on Pig a little bit. So what I really like about what he's doing, this is pretty normal so far, but what I like about what he's going to do is he's not going to be taking too many gases too quickly, and he's not going to be getting his layer, which I think is the best way to play against Twilight Council specifically. Okay, he does actually get in here with the Overlord. I probably could have denied that if my Stalker was more near the edge and I microed it a little bit. So, quite a mistake by me, but not a huge deal. He actually thinks I'm going for Adepts. Okay, so he's grabbing his Roach Warren pretty fast, 330. Maybe this is why his drone count suffers a little bit. But if you get a layer here, which is a normal time, you are really going to have no money to make drones and defend. So if you get the layer, you're making it extremely hard to defend these builds. Now on my side, I'm getting the Dark Shrine, I'm getting 3 gates. That's one of the differences of the DG drop now, is you actually want to just go for 3 gates instead of 4, which makes your Dark Shrine warp in like 20 seconds faster. So kind of a huge deal. And also in addition is you can get a couple more Adepts. So normally with the normal DT drop you'd get like 2 Adepts and help take your third base, but with this build you get 3 and you can do a little bit of harass on their side as well. So I'm going to shade these over here. Maybe I'll slow it down because there's going to be a lot going on here. Actually, maybe we'll even pause. So because I want to talk about Pig's response as well. So anyways, I have 3 Adepts coming in here, and basically the idea is to pull his Lings over here, pull his Queens over here, and just kind of distract him, while also getting a couple drone kills, but mostly to distract him. And then on the other side, we're going to be warping in some DTs. So our Warp Prism's here at like 440. Honestly, this is incredibly late for this build, for the one I'll do a guide on. You can actually get the DTs warping in at like 420 or 425. It's pretty insane. So actually we'd probably kill him right now if we had the DTs on time. But 2 or 3 Adepts in here, DTs over here, pull them apart. But specifically about what Pig's doing, what I like is he's using the Spore Crawlers he's not getting a layer, and he's only on 2 gas. So really, really common in the lower parts of GM or mid GM even is people getting 3 gas in a layer and then making roaches. And I think it's really, really weak to hold both the DT play and the det play. So really strong understanding of the build order response to Twilight Council. Obviously, it's pig. So distracting him, warping in our DTs. He skipped his spore crawler in the main, which was a little unfortunate. So we do sneak in here a little bit before it's done, but he has a great reaction, pulling his drones onto the spore crawler. So it took me a little while to react here, but what we should do is just shift click the drones. And if you do that, the DTs will actually kill different drones if you shift click them fast enough. So you can see me getting a couple drone kills there, a couple Ling kills, but he does survive, so we got to pick up. I save all the DTs, which is super nice. And yeah, from this point, he's really behind in workers. So I think this game's actually pretty much over, to be honest. But we'll look at the rest of the game because I have a nice follow-up as well. That's interesting, I think. He got a DT there. So the next thing you want to do is start your transition. So you can see I'm getting a Forge, I'm making Immortals, and then I'm going to warp in 2 more DTs for Archons. And then we can harass a little bit with that, get a little bit of scouting, maybe clear some of the creep. It's a pretty fluid build. You're always having like a next step, which is really nice. And you're basically harassing the whole game, which is something that I like to do. So notice we're not adding on any gates yet. This is a really common blunder that I see with all my diamond students. Maybe a quick plug if you want to get coaching. Feel free to check out my website or message me on Discord. You can also just join our group Discord for free. So I'll leave that in the top comment if you want to join. But yeah, so you don't want to get your gates here. It's a really common error to just throw down a bunch of gates here, thinking like, if they attack me, I'm super dead, right? Like I need those gates to defend, but actually by making those gates, you make it much easier to die to all-ins. So kind of counterintuitive, but you know, if you make 4 gates, that's 600 minerals. Whereas if you make Immortals and then you just warp in after 3 gates, like twice, then you have way more units than if you got the gates. So much, much better to just not make the gates, utilize the gates you do have, and then maybe rely a little bit more on the shield batteries. And then another advantage of doing it this way is that you just have more money to spend on getting, upgrades and the key units, the better units, the Immortals. So this is called powering, grabbing the gates later. So I have 1 shield battery here just for safety, just in case I miss something, but you don't even need that, to be honest. And then over on this side, we're just harassing his overlords. Maybe I can move the observer over here in a second and start harassing the creep as well. And then over on my side, we do a huge cut, no more probes, and we're grabbing all of our gates, just kind of setting up for that huge push. So 3 Immortal. I think usually I get 4 Sentry. Maybe I'll warp in 1 in a second. And yeah, just a monstrous army. We're going to hit at like 730 or 740, something like that. So this is actually really important. So I'm just harassing him here. But the importance of this is, he's dealing with his build. He's trying to think about what he wants to do in the game. He doesn't know I'm all-inning. And so by harassing him a bunch, we're really straining his attention. And so the benefit of this is he doesn't have time to think about scouting my 3rd base. And of course, if he did do that, he would see, wow, that's a really small amount of probes, and he's maybe not making them sometimes. So very suspicious. Also, I have quite a few units here. So he definitely realized that I'm all-inning if he would have the time to go look. So by harassing him a bunch, he's really strained, and he doesn't have time for that. So yeah, he doesn't realize, so therefore he's grabbing his Spire. He's got double Evo on the way. And I think he even drones quite a bit past 3 base saturation, thinking I'm playing like a normal macro game. So we set up over here. I think I'm a little bit late actually. You can probably hit by 7:30 with 3 Immortal. So I come in here though. We got what, 4 Archons, 3 Immortal, 3 Sentries. So our army is just completely disgusting here at 7:30. And yeah, and he just droned a ton. He's up to 72 drones. Now this engagement is pretty instructive, I think, as well. So normally what I see is, you know, Protoss will just A-move in here, but you want to be careful that your Zealots don't get ahead of the rest of your army, because what'll happen is your Immortals and your Archons and your Sentries will shoot buildings like the hatchery and the gas, and your Zealots will eventually chase after his units, which means he can just kill the Zealots first and then focus on your Archon Immortal. But what you would want to have happen is that the Zealots are tanking for the Immortal Archon. So we come in here, and I want him to come to me. So what I'm doing is, well, right now I'm actually just using the Immortals to target fire the hatchery, and the rest of my army is mostly A-moved. But once he tries to come towards me, I'm going to use a lot of hole position. So right here you can see me hole positioning. That way my Zealots aren't running forward and he has to come to me. So that lets us pick off the hatchery. And then the next thing you want to do is not A-move here. So I'm really being careful to make sure my Zealots don't run forward. And I'm even going to move my sentries to the front so that I can snag his units before the battle starts. Just like that. His army's pretty tiny, to be honest. His response for the second part wasn't great, but that's kind of the idea, is you want to snag his units. And then, yeah, and then just pushing forward to the win. So hopefully this was instructive. If you liked it, make sure to press like and share this video with your friends. That's actually probably the best way you can help out this channel. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.